Ahoy there, crewmates! This is not barotrauma. Today, I'm going scuba diving.
So, diving has been one of my long-time passions. I have been actively diving for over 10 years. And today, we're diving in Hong Kong. I'm out with two of my friends, and today we're going to be a diving trio. We won't be going too deep as the weather isn't the best. Surface temperature is a nice warm 29 degrees, but below 8 meters it starts to get a bit chilly. This is because there's a thermocline. This is where hot and cold water meet, and below this one, the temperature goes down to 23 degrees. So we won't be venturing too far below today. Also, you can probably see it's rather green. This is because it's actually overcast on the surface, and throughout the day there are showers, so not much sunlight gets through. Sunlight being an important factor in how the underwater looks, as water begins to filter out the light. This means that red gets pulled out first, hence the more green colour you're seeing on screen. I have actually already added in a fair amount of red tint with colour corrections in the video editing software I use. What you might also notice is that I'm using a 360-degree camera. However, you can't mix 360 content on YouTube. I wanted to keep this video more of a guided tour so that I can show off the amazing things we discover underwater and keep them in frame. So I will be controlling the camera angle and showing you all the good stuff. I will post a full unedited 360 tour where you can actually have a look at everything, and I'll leave a link for that video in the description below. Currently, I have my friend holding the camera as I need to navigate to the area where I think is going to be of most interest today. As we swim along, we adjust our buoyancy with air from our cylinders. This allows us to be as close as possible to zero gravity. This is what scuba diving is all about. That true weightlessness is what makes it such a unique and enjoyable sport. Swimming close together, we get our bearings and set off southwards, as the dive site has a plateau that I know is full of life and hidden gems. We stick together as the visibility isn't great, but we can still see a good 4 to 5 meters in front. We see a small school of fish that pass in front of us, but it's in the wrong direction. We take a brief look and then continue to head off to our point of interest. First off, we find a banded boxer shrimp. These are very shy creatures that are hard to find, as they like to live upside down under rocks. But you can usually spot their long white whiskers or antenna peeking out from beneath. I grab the camera and try to get a better shot, as I know this one is upside down deep in the underside of this rock. I don't want to get too close as I don't like disturbing marine life. The telltale signs that this is a banded boxer shrimp are the white whiskers and striped claws. I have actually never seen one on its own before. They usually come in pairs, so this is a doubly rare encounter. The banded boxer shrimp is actually a cleaner shrimp. They offer their services to nearby fish by waving around their whiskers. They will eat any unwanted guests or dead skin off the fish. It's amazing in the underwater world that there are species that offer a sort of medical service to passers-by. I move backwards and let my dive buddies get a closer look. Quickly checking our compass bearing, ensuring that we're heading in the right direction. Then we move on with our adventure. Next, we encounter a lonely clownfish. The film Finding Nemo was very true to the clownfish's personality. They are one of the most overprotective fishes in the ocean, especially when you take their size into consideration. It comes closer to let us know that it's ready to bite us if we move too close to its soft anemone home.
Hello, me in the middle here, just making sure you hit that like button if you're enjoying this video so far, as I'm having obviously a lot of fun going outside doing my hobby that I enjoy. I really appreciate the like and it helps the channel out, and yeah, without further ado, let's get back on with the diving.
It's not jellyfish season, but medium-sized jellyfish can still be found floating around. We come across one, and we're not the only ones interested in this encounter. A group of trumpetfish are also very interested in this gelatinous creature. Jellyfish are found all over the world and come in an incredible different amount of configurations and sizes. Scientists estimate they are the oldest multi-organ species on the planet, possibly over 700 million years old. What's odd about this encounter is that the trumpet fish seem unfazed by our presence. Usually they are fairly skittish creatures that bolt if you get too close. Perhaps they are just too intrigued by the jellyfish to let our presence bother them. Trumpet fish have a very interesting feature, although I have never seen it myself. They have a mating dance. It is fascinating that so much of what we see above water was probably first developed by the underwater kingdom. Then the encounter turns really special. A swarm of small fish begin to circle above the jellyfish. Perhaps the jellyfish is more important than we think. I try to turn down the shot's exposure to lighting so that you can see the swirling fish above. Next, we travel over a mini coral forest, and I manage to spot a fish that uses its camouflage to avoid predators by blending into rocks. Unfortunately though, I seem to get too close and end up spooking the fish. I believe it's either a scorpion or rockfish. Moving on, we find one of my favourite underwater creatures. I spot this one from a distance as it tries to hide under a rock. I signal to my dive buddies what I have found, but you really need two hands to do the proper gesture. So it looks like that I'm possibly signalling I have found another jellyfish. Instead, I have found an octopus, which is fairly rare for daytime as they prefer to be nocturnal hunters. You can just make out one of its tentacles, and it does decide to move around inside its hiding spot. I actually suspect that this might be its home, as in the immediate vicinity there is a bunch of cracked and open shells. This is a telltale sign for where an octopus might be living. I don't want to disturb it too much, so I don't get too close. They are very intelligent creatures, and it's probably very well aware we are watching it. So we move on and allow our 8-legged friend to continue its business. It's at this point in the dive I realise that perhaps the thermocline or the camera's electronic heat has unfortunately clouded one side of their underwater housing. Next, we find something really exciting. It's possibly a World War II artillery shell. I am more confused than anything as the dive site we're at is in the middle of nowhere. So perhaps it's a misfire or from a ship battle that may have been undocumented. Regardless, it looks like a bomb disposal team cored out the middle of the shell to make it safe. I signal to my dive buddies what I have found, and they move in for a closer look. It's difficult to tell what type it is, but at a guess, it's between an 80 to 100 caliber shell. And after some quick research online, it looks to be possibly American, which would add even more of a mystery to how it got there. But I am no expert and probably have that wrong. Finally, we capture some lionfish, a very invasive species sitting on a rock. I move around to get a better view, but unfortunately the battery on my camera dies, and that's all the footage I managed to get.
That's everything from me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know I did. It's my hobby. This is what I enjoy doing the most. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and more importantly, let me know in the comments below what you thought. If this is the kind of video content that you'd like to see, or maybe mix in with my regular content, then yeah, do let me know what you thought of everything. Until next time, peace.
Na na na.